What's up, shitheads?
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Nacho Wrestling, and in today's episode of the 10 Count, we are going to be taking a look at the top 10 things I want to see and don't want to see for the rest of 2024. We're a little over halfway through the year. Crazy to think about that we're already halfway through July and about to be in August already. We're on track to be at SummerSlam soon. Without further ado, let's get into the top 10 list. Number 10, don't want. I don't want to see Cody Rhodes lose his undisputed title. Cody's in sort of a slow burn period right now with his championship belt, and a lot of fans have been complaining about his title reign being rather boring, and I very much disagree with this statement. A sentiment that I have seen, especially from Steve here from Over Going in Raw, is that they are setting up a plethora of stories. Is that they are setting up a plethora of stories and obstacles for Cody down the line rather than right at this very second. Not only do you have the new bloodline with Solo and Tama Tonga and hopefully an inevitable match with Jacob Fatu, but you also have the potential turning of Randy Orton and even Kevin Owens as well. On top of that, you have a bunch of different stars that Cody actually hasn't even messed around with yet on SmackDown, and an inevitable draft coming up again in the next few months. Could happen, who knows? But we could see Cody mix it up with a number of people that he hasn't yet, or just people that he hasn't mixed it up enough with yet. Number 9, want. I want to see Sami Zayn drop his Intercontinental title and rejoin the OG Bloodline for their Civil War. Let's be honest, we all want to see this. We want to see Sami get back together with OG Bloodline, especially if it's going to be for the Bloodline Civil War inside of War Games. And it makes sense and is only fair that if he's going to be a part of the OG Bloodline versus New Bloodline story, and he can't have time to defend the IC title, that he drops it. In an ideal world, he drops it to Ilya Dragunov in a triple threat match against Sheamus. And Sheamus was cost the match by Braun Breaker, enhancing the feud between Sheamus, Braun Breaker, and Ilya Dragunov, keeping the IC title rather interesting. It's a win-win for everyone. Number 8, don't want. I don't want to see the Elite win Blood and Guts. Now, before I keep going, I don't think it can happen. I do think Team Elite I do think Team AEW is going to get the win, but I do think there is a chance that they do steal it. But most of the Elite are going to retain it all in, so it makes the most sense to give the Team AEW a victory going into their biggest show of the year. And as of making this video, we're still waiting on the other 3 members of Team AEW to be announced, and depending on who it is, the Acclaimed, the Elite could walk out winners or losers. Number 7, want. Tag team wrestling to be revived for the better. This one is definitely more of a vague statement than anything, but I feel tag team wrestling has been falling off in the past 2 to 3 years, especially in AEW, who always used to tout that their tag team division was better than any other tag team division out there. Even in WWE, who just recently split their tag titles at WrestleMania, seems to have completely forgotten about their tag titles and only recently just started trying to fix what they've done wrong. And I can't speak on TNA, I'm unaware of how deep their tag division is right now, and New Japan is in a bit of a rebuild phase as well on all parts. The only company that I know of right now that actually puts a huge emphasis on tag team wrestling is DP freaking W. Shouts out Violence is Forever for winning the Tag Festival, by the way. Number 6, don't want. The Rock to return at Survivor Series. If they're going to do War Games again this year, which by all accounts they are, and they're going to be doing OG Bloodline versus New Bloodline in War Games, I think it's only fair to let the guys who've been carrying the story on their back bask in the moment of the presumable climax of this chapter in the Bloodline story. If and when Roman comes back at SummerSlam, that only leaves a couple of months for them to build up to this War Games match. And I think it is more likely and more probable, and also makes more sense, that The Rock returns at, say, the Royal Rumble or Elimination Chamber to announce that he's going to be taking on Cody Rhodes at Mania 41 in Vegas. Number 5, want. I want to see the new Alpha Academy and the old Alpha Academy merge. We've seen Chad Gable talk to the Creeds and Ivy in the past few weeks, and everyone knows and wants to see the new Alpha Academy finally form, especially to help combat the Wyatt Six. The only issue is that there are 5 members of the Wyatt Six, and there are only going to be 4 people in the new Alpha Academy. I think it would be great to subvert expectations in somehow, some way, maybe through divine intervention and a miracle by Uncle Howdy. Chad Gable is able to bring his old students and new students together under one unit. On second thought, maybe shut off Maxine and Tozawa and just take Otis. Yeah, actually do that. It's just Otis. Number 4, don't want. I don't want Bayley to be cashed in on yet. Triple H has not done the greatest job when it comes to booking Bayley's title run. I'll be the first person to admit that. A lot of the matches have felt somewhat thrown together last minute, with the one exception, of course, being the Nia Jax match that we're going to see at SummerSlam, since they've been building to it since she won Queen of the Ring. However, I think Bayley is going to sneak a win out on Nia. She may get destroyed in the process, but nevertheless, I think she is going to win. This is also where a lot of people think Tiffany Stratton is going to come out and cash in on Bayley, but Io did something eerily similar last year at SummerSlam. So I think it'd be pretty redundant and stupid to have the women do the same thing year after year after year. Let's see Tiffany Stratton hold the briefcase a little longer, cash in at the Rumble, cash in at Elimination Chamber. Hell, be the first woman to cash in at Mania. I know we just had Priest do it at Mania 40, but it's the women, and a woman's never done it at WrestleMania. It would be amazing, and it would help make someone's career like Tiffany Stratton if she cashed in on Bayley at Mania in Vegas. Number 3, want. I want Tony Khan to hire Scott D'Amore. As far as I'm aware, Scott D'Amore is not doing anything for any other wrestling company right now. And of course, he may have another job already, but he does have a true knack for professional wrestling and is able to come up with and interweave a plethora of stories with each other while also being able to come up with new and fresh ways to present the product. A lot of that fly on the wall camera angle and different types of production styles that TNA and Impact were doing towards the latter years were thanks to him. And that creative resurgence that TNA had in 2022 and 2023 was also thanks to him. It would benefit Tony Khan immensely to bring in Scott to help balance out the workload and bounce creative ideas off of someone rather than just going off of whatever he comes up with or whatever the wrestlers come up with themselves. Number 2, don't want. I don't want Bryan Danielson to retire. It should be well known that on this channel that my absolute favorite professional wrestler of all time is Bryan Danielson. Bryan has been a figure in my pro wrestling life for a long time. Not from the start like others, and I've never got to experience his work in Ring of Honor live, but getting to unearth it at a later stage of my life and learning how fucking cool this guy could be was just something I couldn't get out of my brain. And also just how genuinely chill the man is. I genuinely do not give a singular fuck what anyone says. Bryan will go down as the greatest professional wrestler ever. And I think that has a lot more to do with his ability to connect with people rather than his ability to draw money and fans into the seats. He can do that too, but he just also had the easy ability to make people feel some sort of way about him, whether it was booing him when he was a bad guy or cheering and crying for him when he was a good guy. Number 1, want. Bryan Danielson to win the AEW World title at All In. If you can't tell, number 1 and number 2 are sort of coinciding and counteracting each other. I love Swerve, I really do. He's been a fantastic world champion. However, everything Bryan has done for AEW, being Tony Khan's new confidant outside of the Elite, seemingly being the enforcer of fines for anyone that gets out of line. He's already taking on a role in the backstage realm of wrestling, so it's not like he's going to be gone from the business. Yet, all this work proves why he deserves his flowers and to win the AEW World title in Wembley Stadium. His last full-time tour has been a blast filled with bangers all over the world, from Tokyo Dome to Arena Mexico, and it is only fair that the GOAT goes out on top one more time. That is it for today's video. Let me know what you guys thought about it down in the comments below. What do you guys want to see before the year is up? What do you not want to see before the year is up? Like I said, let me know down in the comments below. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell to stay up to date on all things Nacho Wrestling. And I will see you guys next time.